This is a playable guitar in vanilla Minecraft. I've added acoustic guitars, electric guitars, and amplifiers. And at the end of the video, I'm going to try to play an actual song with multiple parts. But the first thing I'm going to do is craft an acoustic guitar. So I'll just start with an oak one. You can use any of these wood variants, but I'm just going to do oak for now. So you get the planks that you want to use. I'm doing oak, and you need 5 of them. Then you need any wooden slab. It can be the same kind or it can be a different kind. Like I could do birch if I wanted, but I'll also do oak. The slab won't determine the kind of guitar you get. And you also need a piece of string. So you craft it like this. It's kind of like a boat, but then you put a slab on the top and string in the middle. And that gives you the wood variant you chose, acoustic guitar. You'll notice that you don't actually see it in the world at all. Like you see it in the GUI, but it doesn't appear in your hand. That's because you have to right-click it before it appears, and then as you can see, it appears in front of you. So there's this guitar here, but if I'm not in any third-person view, you can see the big guitar here, but you can also see this one, and this is how you play it. So as you can see, there's, well, you know, this looks like a guitar. There is some like Z fighting, but there's not really much I could do about it where it's like glitchy textures. But anyway, you can see this here. It looks a little bit confusing because there's like 2 guitars. You can see there's like this one, and then there's the big one. This one in the back here, like this is the one that like people would see if they were watching you play. But then this one is just for you to see so you can actually play it. It's a little bit like the piano I made where you have, like you right click the different areas to play notes. Only obviously it's a guitar this time. So the way it works is if you right click these strings, it plays guitar notes. What you're supposed to do is click in the middle of the strings, but in between the frets. It kind of looks like a grid here, but it's supposed to be the lines going, you know, this way, like these are supposed to be the strings, and then these lines are the frets. You're supposed to right click between the frets but on the strings. So like here, here, or here, but not probably like here or here or here. So it might be a little confusing. Maybe you'd learn it as you play, but like you can, and when I right click this, it plays that note. If I right click this, it plays that note. And if I'm like in between, it's like, you know, it changes right where that line is. But going this way, it doesn't change on the line, it changes between them. So if I'm like here, that's all the same note, but as soon as I go here, then it's the next note, or well, you know, the next string. So it might be a little confusing, but hopefully if you play it enough, and by the way, it would probably help if you actually know how to play a guitar in real life, or at least you understand how the guitar works in real life, because it would just make it a lot easier, because that's what this is based on. Also, I will mention you might want to lower your sensitivity. I have mine down to 70. If it's on 100%, it's very sensitive. If you're trying to play melodies, it's like, you know, it's like super sensitive. I mean, it's not super sensitive. You could probably get used to it, but it's a little sensitive, so I'll just I usually have it on 70. But yeah, so you can play anything. You can play all the notes. These are like, if you're wondering which notes it's actually going to play, well, if you right click here, it's like you had a finger on that fret and then you played the 5th string, which is, you know, this one, which probably is what you would expect, especially if you've played guitar in real life. So you can play, you know, like melodies. Throughout this video, I'm going to play this song called Steam Gardens from Super Mario Odyssey. The melody goes like this. So you can play melodies, though that song is actually played on an electric guitar, so I'm going to switch to one of those because I also want to show you the electric guitars. And the crafting recipe is a little different, so you need string as well, but you also need redstone and another wooden slab. And instead of using wood variants, you use the wool, concrete, and all the kind of colored blocks color variants. So the blocks you actually need are the color concrete for the color guitar you want. Let's do orange. So you actually only need 4 of them this time because the recipe is different again. So you put the blocks like this. It's not like a boat this time. It's like boots or something. Then you put the slab on top, string in the middle, and redstone at the bottom. And then you have your color of concrete electric guitar. Obviously, you know, electric guitars in the real world, I really don't think they're made of concrete, but I wanted to go with those color options. So I thought concrete made the most sense, even though it's, you know, not technically accurate. You'll notice when I use this one though, it says connect your electric guitar to an amplifier, and I actually can't play it. You see I'm looking down, but there's no guitar for me to play. There's just the one in front of me. So you need amplifiers. There's one right here, but I'm going to craft one so you know how to do it. So for the amplifiers it has to be black concrete. You need 7 of those. You need a piece of redstone dust and a note block, kind of like it's like the speaker. And you craft it with, it's almost like leggings of concrete. Then you put the redstone on the bottom and the note block in the middle. Then it makes an amplifier. So you can place these down like blocks, and this is what they look like. This is supposed to be like, you know, the speaker front, and then this is all the controls at the back. They're directional too, by the way, so I can place them facing any of the 4 main directions. But it doesn't really matter which way they're facing. It's just, you know, to make it look better if you have a preferred way of direction for it to face. But anyway, so when you have this, now once you right click with the electric guitar, it tells you to connect your electric guitar to an amplifier. So you right click the amplifier, and then as you'll notice, now this guitar appears like in front of me to play, and it also has like a cord connecting it now, and now I can actually play it. So as you could tell, it made different sounds, and that's actually not the only electric guitar sound you can do. So if I right click the amplifier again, it actually changes the sound. Now if I play it, sounds a little different. And if I right click it again, it gives me another sound. That's like a muted guitar. And the last one is like distorted. And if you right click it again, it goes back to the first electric guitar sound. So technically there are 5 guitar sounds in this. One is for the acoustic guitar, and then there are 4 electric guitar sounds. I can also play melodies, obviously, on this one. Like, that probably sounds a little bit more like the original song that I'm playing. But another thing you can do is chords. I haven't showed those yet, but you can do them on the acoustic guitars as well. I'll just do them on this electric guitar. The chords are a little bit different. You know, you don't just... You could technically, like, play the note, and I never really showed this, but you can right-click the strings down here. Actually, it kind of has to be near the fretboard, not all the way down here. But anyway, if you right-click these, it plays open strings. And again, you can do this all on the acoustic guitar as well. I'm just showing you this on the electric guitar, but yeah. So you can play them individually, of course, but you can also like hold right-click and drag, and then it plays all of them. Well, actually, it doesn't have to play all of them, because I could just go some of the way and stop. So you can obviously play those, but that's not really like a chord. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not like a normal chord. Of course, you could do it like, if you wanted to play a G major chord, for example, you could like... Okay, I kind of messed it up, but anyway, you can play like the notes you're supposed to play, then the open strings you're supposed to play, then that note. There is actually a real way to play chords. If you use your movement keys, you'll notice these like sparkly things appear. That shows you where your fingers would go for that chord, and you don't actually have to right click there. If you just strum all 6 strings like this, it plays the chord. So that was a G major chord, like I played like this. You could do it like this as well, but obviously that's really slow. So depending on what movement key you hit, it's a different chord. There are 8 total chords. I'll go through all of them. So pressing W is a C major chord. Pressing D is an F major chord. Pressing S is a D major chord. Pressing A is a G major chord. And then for the final 4, you hold your sprint button like whatever you'd use to sprint. Yeah, and then also the movement keys. So shift, well, okay, in my case it's shift. The default controls is control, but sprint plus W is A minor, sprint plus D is E major, sprint plus S is A major, and sprint plus A is E minor. So those are all the chords you can play. I know that's not every chord, but kind of only so much I could do easily, but you can still play quite a few songs with those 8 chords. And oh yeah, you get particles because I'm sprinting forward. But anyway, so I can try to play that Steam Garden song's chords. They would go E minor like this. And by the way, you can also play like parts of chords. Like I can play the first or the lowest 4 notes in this chord, and it sounds like that. I could play the last 4 or the highest 4. So you can like do whatever you want. It does what you'd expect. It plays the strings that you're right clicking. So the chords to that Steam Garden song that I've been playing, it goes E minor for the first 2 measures, I think. Then it's G major. Then what's it? Then it's C major, but you don't play this last one. So, okay, I'll just do C major. So that's C major. But in this case, what I would do to play this chord is play the first 2 strings like this, then release W and play the rest. And that's technically the chord that it should be played. At least I think. Well, I think it's a chord that works. Yeah, okay, so that sounded right. It's a little bit weird, like having to release W mid-chord, but it probably would sound fine if I just did a regular C major chord, like that. But anyway, then it's D major, and then it's back to E minor. And then later it goes into C major, actually with this note that's this time. Yeah. And then it's D major. And then it's B major, no, B minor, no. I think it's B minor 7 or something, but it's this one where it's like... But I don't have that chord, so I'll just probably play like these notes. Then it's back to E minor. And then it does that part again till that B minor 7 chord or whatever. Then it's B major 7. I think. No, it was that chord. And then it goes E minor D, then C major. And it does that like a couple more times, and then it's that one, and then it just repeats. So, well, actually, it doesn't just repeat, but for the part I'm going to be playing, that's where it repeats. So that's the song I'll be playing at the end of the video, but that was just to like show you how to do the chords. By the way, I mean, you know this if you play real guitar, but some of the chords, like the F major, C major, D major, A major, and A minor, and maybe some others, you're not supposed to play all the strings, just the top 4, or the top 5 or top 4, depending on the chord. Like the D major, for example, you only play the top 4, or the highest 4, I guess. You wouldn't play these. Of course, you probably know that if you play guitar. If you don't play guitar, then it would, the chords might not sound right if you're not playing them right. That's why I'm saying, like, it's probably best, like, to know how to play guitar in real life. Otherwise, it's going to be confusing and you might not know how to do it. But if you do know guitar, you should hopefully, like, know what to do. Oh, by the way, I didn't really show this before, but these dots are they're just to help you know where you are on the guitar. They're on real guitars too. It's just, it doesn't actually do anything. Like, you can't click these and it does something special or anything like that. That's just what it looks like. And if you've played a real guitar, you would know what these mean. So you can use those to like know where you are on the guitar. And I know it's not technically like accurate in that all of these notes are like equally spaced, In a real guitar, the lower notes are like spread out more, and then as it gets closer to the main body of the guitar, I guess, like the frets get closer together. I didn't do that because that would be not really possible, or at least very difficult with the, how you have to click them and click the square hitboxes. So I didn't do that, but hopefully you'll still be able to play it well. You can see here I've got the guitars like on display. You can do that with item frames. They actually render like at full size in an item frame, and they'll like hit the ground correctly pretty much. You could rotate them as well. It doesn't really make sense. I guess it could if they were supposed to be like on the side or something. I don't really know. They could also go on like the ground like this, like if you wanted it to look like it's on the floor or something. I know it can go through walls, so it doesn't really make sense. But actually that could look cool. Like you could put like your guitar, get like a shelf, and then you could put like a shelves here, and then like it comes through. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could. You can also put them in shelves. I mean, you can put anything in shelves, so that makes sense, but and it works with the acoustic guitars as well. Oops. But yeah, and they kind of render the same way. I mean, you could see right here how they're rendering, but anyway. And I guess I might as well show you how that chords do work with the acoustic guitar. And so do like, just playing the strings, I guess. Anyway, that's about it. I will show you, you'd have to have like operator permissions for this, but if you run /function guitar : give / you get all the items you can get. So you can get every variant of acoustic guitar, an amplifier, and every color electric guitar with a command, and you don't have to craft it. You obviously can craft it, and if you were like in survival, that's probably how you like intended to do it. But if you want to, you can run the command. If you're just like, oh yeah, I just want like a acoustic guitar, then you could like do that or something. If you just wanted it quickly in creative mode because you were doing something, I don't know. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to try actually doing a performance of that song, the Steam Garden song from Super Mario Odyssey, with electric guitars, and I can't obviously actually play multiple guitars at once, so I'll do them separately, and then I'll edit it, edit the video, like add them together, so it'll look like there's like two of me playing at once, and hopefully it'll sound good. It'll sound like the song it's supposed to. All the chords will sound good, the melody will sound good. Let's take the elevator down to the stage and get playing in front of an audience of armor stands. So that's it. So now I'll show you how to install it. So if you want to add this to your world, you're going to have to be in Java Edition, then select your world that you want to add it to, click Edit, then Open World folder. Then you want to go into that folder's Data Packs folder, and there will be two downloads in the description. One's for the resource pack, one's for the data pack. What you want to put in here is the data pack. It's just a zip file, and you don't need to unzip it or anything. Just drag the file that you download into this folder. And then back in game, you can open the world, and then you should be able to like actually use them. But the problem is you wouldn't have the resource pack yet. I mean, you could, but I haven't shown you how to install it yet. As you can see, it looks like this. So you'll want the resource pack, otherwise everything looks like this. So you would go into your options, resource packs, then click open pack folder, and then in that folder you will drag the resource pack zip file. Again, you don't have to unzip it or anything like that, but just right into the folder, and you don't have to go into any other folders after that. Just once you click this button, that's where you put the zip file, and then make sure it's enabled, and you can click done, and then everything should load. And now the guitars look correct, and you also, by the way, if you don't have the resource pack, you won't have the sounds, so they won't make any noise anyway, so it really won't work at all if you don't have the resource pack. But with the resource pack, well, I also need an amplifier because I use an electric guitar. But no, that's not what I meant to do. No, amp. Okay, and then you can right click and then it works. So that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed.